I bought a Cadillac CTS, so I can LS swap in, and it is getting this brand new 6-liter LS engine. This engine will be completely built, and it is going to be better than the LSA engine that originally came in the Cadillac CTS-V. Over the past couple months, I've been building a bunch of different projects. The Charger being one of them. You guys see the Hellcat supercharger isn't on here right now. And I've been building my BMW E36 M3. We're also trying to buy a BMW 135i, and I've been searching through Marketplace for an F30 335i. And we almost pulled the trigger on one of those. But instead of getting an F30 335i, I opted to get a Cadillac CTS. Now, you guys might be asking, why didn't you just get the V? Well, the honest answer is, I didn't want to get the V. The V costs way too much, $25,000 to $30,000 for a car with over 100,000 miles on it. Just does not suit my budget right now. After I bought this Junkyard 5.3, I really wanted to do another LS build. This one has parts on the way, and this one right here is the one that I just bought. And that engine is going to be slapped in the Cadillac CTS. We're building our own V. So let me give you guys a rundown. When I first went to go pick up the car, this is the exact condition it was in. It had faded headlights, a faded emblem, random carbon all over the grill. It had a couple scratches, faded paint, stuff like that. But all around, it was pretty clean. There's a couple things that I could get off with Goo Gone. The interior, though, was absolutely immaculate. And this is what Cadillac is known for. Once you go towards the wheels, you can see they've been neglected, stuff like that. As you can see, that scratch right there, it's pretty deep, but it's nothing that we can't manage. And there's a dent that I need to get away, and here you go. This is the interior and startup. It started up pretty well. It has very low mileage and really no lights on the dash at all. As you guys can see, only a tire monitor system alert on the dash, but that's really it. There's nothing major going on with this thing, and it only had 143,000 miles on it. The previous owner did inform me that the radio had no volume at all. We have no sound right now coming out of the radio. We have it on full blast, and I mean, nothing's happening right now. I have 143,000 miles on the dash right now, and it seems to have no codes at all. Everything else is in working order. The AC blows, everything works, all the buttons work, the buttons look good, there's nothing coming off of them. I have the AC on right now and it's all good. When we get to the engine side, you could tell that this thing was neglected, not to the point where the maintenance wasn't done, but it was sitting in a dusty, dirty field over there in Riverside, California. So you could tell just by the way it looks that the engine bay really wasn't maintained. I did look at some other fluids and stuff like that, so it really wasn't an issue for me. We're going to be swapping this car anyway. You can see that there's a couple little scratches on the bumper and stuff like that, but we're going to change it anyways. You guys could tell the rear view mirrors were neglected. The paint is going away, and when we pop open the trunk and try to look at the fuse in the back for the radio, you're going to see right now that it's a 15 amp fuse, and just by looking at it right there, it really doesn't look like anything is wrong with it. I ended up taking it out and it was all good. As we look around the car some more and go towards the rear, this car's interior is absolutely immaculate. And I just realized one thing. It doesn't have the movable radio, but it does have the panoramic roof option on it, which is just a plus in every way. It also has OnStar and all the emergency options you want, but the major thing is the tags are dated back to 2021. This is a car that I've been wanting to swap for a very long time. I wanted to do my own specific build and make this car specifically better than a Cadillac CTS-V. Look at the interior in this car. It's basically a fully loaded CTS. There's nothing much more that a CTS-V has. Aside from the steering wheel and the Recaro seats, there's nothing really different that a CTS has. When you get a CTS-V, you're basically going to get the same interior as the CTS. They basically made the whole entire package for the engine on the CTS-V, and that's the main part that we have to swap on this thing. The engine, fenders, bumper. headlights, and then we basically have a CTS-V at the end of the day. Now later on, I might get a CTS-V donor car that doesn't have an engine, transmission, front end, and stuff like that. I've seen them on Marketplace for fairly cheap, but for right now, we're gonna build this running car into a running CTS-V. I've already started collecting the parts. Like, I bought new wheels for this thing, as you guys can see. The wheels look kind of dirty and dingy. We have a rear end on order, CTS-V rear end. We have the front cradle on order. We do have the new engine. It is a 6-liter bored 40 over. So that's going to be a very nice engine. What we are going to do on this though, is we're going to put a Hellcat supercharger on that LS and try to make at least 800 to 900 horsepower with that thing. We're going to be using the FabWorks kit because they basically have everything you need to swap the Hellcat supercharger onto the LS engine. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing. And I know you guys have seen every single Hellcat LS build all over the internet. There's a lot of people that's been doing it, and those guys are making some serious power with these cars. So I am pretty excited for what we have to come with this build right here. I mean, look at this thing. It looks like a grandpa car. Look at that. It looks all dirty, dingy, disgusting. No, but in all actuality, it doesn't look that bad for what it is right now. You know, I was in the market to buy an F30 335i, but the owner of the F30 335i that I was going to get lied about the whole entire car. When I was trying to get it, I pulled up, I drove an hour away. Me and my boy, we drove an hour and away. And when they actually drove up, the whole front end was damaged. It was an E90. It had the M54. I wanted an N55 car with the DCT. I just couldn't get that. So now we're building a CTS. I've been wanting to build a CTS for a long time, and finally we're going to be able to do it. And all around, I think this is going to be a way better build than building an F30 335i. It's going to take a lot more money to build this rather than building the M55, putting a big turbo and stuff on. And maybe sooner rather than later, we might do a BMW build on the channel, but for right now, we're going to be building this. There are so many random projects that I want to have and that I have already that this is probably going to be the last car for a while that I'm going to be building. Like I said, I do want a BMW, and hopefully we do get that 135i. And if I don't, I really do want an F30 335i. But if we can't do that, then all the money for those cars are going to be going into this build and the Hellcat Charger build. And in November, I'm going to be sending off my 6.1 Hemi to get fully built. So hopefully you guys are ready for that. The only thing I really don't like about the Cadillac CTS, especially this generation, the V2, is the rear end. It's really lackluster. There's not much that goes on in the rear end, and even with the V cars, there's really not much. The most I could do is a diffuser, a wicker bill, stuff like that. We are going to put a carbon trunk on this thing, new headlights, tail lights, third brake lights, but at the end of the day, there's not really much you could do with the rear end on the CTS platform. But once you look at this side profile, I think this car has one of the best side profiles I've seen. Look at that side profile. It has a factory wide body on it, big wheels. The front end and rear end of just the regular CTS looks meh, but I think we can make it a little bit better. And you guys probably want to see the little boring V6 that's in this thing, so let's go ahead and pop this open. This is literally probably the first time. How do you pop this open? 3.6 liter V6 right here. It is extremely dirty in this engine bay. I haven't cleaned it since I got it. This thing was just sitting in Riverside in a dirty lot, so that's why it looks like this right now. But that's the way it looks right now. Pretty dirty, I'm not gonna lie. And if we squeeze the camera into this spot right here, you guys can see all the room for a V8, and that's how GM did it. They left this engine sitting all the way in the back, and they left a little bit of room right here just so they could put a V8. I don't even know if they meant to put a V6 in this car at all. I'm pretty sure they always meant to put a V8 in this platform. Honestly, having a V8 in this big car right here would have made more sense than them going with the V6 option. Like, look at this. Look at this right here. You guys hear no sound, nothing like that. We're driving in an empty parking lot, so you know if we had a V8, the sound would be rumbling off and everything, but this thing makes no sound at all, and it's pretty saddening. I guess we got to work with what we got. I got to stop buying cars, man. It's crazy. At this point, we have the BMW right here, and then the Charger's right there. I'm gonna be giving you guys a full rundown here soon of everything that I'm going to be doing to this aluminum block 6.0. It's an LS2, bored over 40, and I'm gonna be putting an LAT crankshaft and stuff like that in here, force pistons, rods, basically the whole 9 yards in a basic LS build that's going to make a lot of power. And then the Charger, as I showed you guys before in one of the last videos, it's getting fully disassembled. We're gonna be making a video of me pulling the engine out of this thing soon. Gonna be getting rid of the engine that's in here currently. Going to be keeping the heads because the heads are fully built and stuff like that. They're gonna be going on a 6.1 Hemi 426 block, sleeved, all that. Hopefully you guys like the new Cadillac build. It's a pretty clean car. I like it a lot, so hopefully you guys like it too. It's pretty comfortable. Talk to you beautiful people later. Y'all have a beautiful day. Bye.